Hi everyone, I'm recording this video to introduce to you and hopefully answer any questions you might have about the Pour Montréal Scientifique project. Of course, I understand that my video might not answer all of the questions you might have about this, and if that's the case, don't hesitate to reach out to me, send me a mail, Carl Laroche. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have that aren't addressed here. All right, so let's get this started. Make my head smaller, move me down there, and let's get going. So you'll note here the writing's in French. This is going to come up a little bit later as well, but in order to participate in this program, you have to be able to communicate relatively effectively in French. So I'm using a PowerPoint slides that I received from teachers in a French college. If you can't read this, then you're probably not going to be able to participate in this program. Okay, so some of this presentation will be in French. That's just how it's going. All right, so background here. Why does this program exist? Well, I know from firsthand experience, my children having gone through elementary school now, that science education in elementary school isn't terrific. And the reason for this is because the teachers in elementary school aren't scientists. They don't have a rigorous scientific background. Most of them have done one course in terms of teaching science during their education degree, but that for a lot of them was a long time ago and was not a really rigorous course. In terms of science education for themselves, most of them ended early in high school and weren't taking top-level science courses, and yet now they're expected to teach science to these students following ministry guidelines. But they don't have, in a lot of cases, the appropriate material for this. They're lacking the knowledge that they need for this, and they don't know how they're supposed to evaluate scientific understanding. And the result is, and again, I've seen this firsthand with a lot of teachers, they're hesitant to teach science themselves, and they do really rudimentary, basic stuff, which isn't great. We're wanting to try and inspire our students, right? We are trying to engage them to be scientists, to get interest levels up for exploring and being part of the scientific community. And so this program exists to try and get in there and inspire these students now, right away. And it's doing that by getting CEGEP students, older, inspiring students, volunteer students, of course, to take part in this program and inspire these students. But it also allows students from CEGEPs and universities, but it's typically CEGEP students that are doing this, to develop their own skills and abilities. If you're interested in becoming a promoter of science or an educator yourself, this is a great opportunity to start honing those skills and a great way to boost your CV as well. Plus, with this program, we also engage in some measure of research about these programs. There's been research and published research now stemming from this project. So a lot of good's coming out of this. And the program has been around actually quite a few years now. It started in Montreal North and has expanded not just to the island of Montreal, but now even beyond that, because it works, because it's a great idea and it works well. Okay, so what's the objective here? To improve the overall interest in science and the scientific culture of students at the elementary school level and start orienting them towards careers in science in the future. So how do we do this? Well, we identify, we target, and we try to recruit elementary schools, and we then find teachers in these elementary schools, and we pair CEGEP students with them. And they go in and run these activities in the classes with those teachers. The idea initially was to have a presence of CEGEP students for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years in the elementary schools to train these teachers to do these activities and to help with that. But what we've found is that most of the schools that participate in this program want the students to keep coming because the students are great, because the students' presence in the class is an inspiration in and of itself. So it's not just about the teachers being able to do this. Teachers who've been part of this program for years and years and years now, they can run it themselves, no problems. But they want the CEGEP students there because that presence of the CEGEP students itself is really, really inspiring. So a lot of the classes, you get in there and the teachers already know what they're doing, but they want you to be there for the fun of it. Now, what we provide, this research project provides, is all of the stuff. We have all of these activities pre-prepared, and when I say pre-prepared, I mean they're seriously pre-prepared. There's an entire syllabus prepared, a guide for the instructors and the students that's prepared. There are videos that are prepared for the teachers and the students to show you exactly what you should do and how you should do it. It's really elaborate and all pre-prepared. It says they're clé en main, like it's really plug and play. The stuff's all ready for you. You just have to follow along. So it's quite simple. And you can see here, this is a room where all of these things are ready. It's like a bin that we give to the teachers with all the stuff, all the materials in there. The guides are all online. Obviously, the videos are all online, but the material's all there. You get it, and it's ready to go. It's almost foolproof. Frankly, it's really cool. So what do you have to do as a student in this project? Well, you have to get in there and have some fun, frankly. For new classes with teachers who aren't really super familiar with it, you're there to be the scientific expert. And you probably don't think of yourself in CEGEP as a scientific expert yet, but relative to these teachers, you certainly are. You've already done quite a bit more science than they have in their entire lives, but you're in it now. You're immersed in this now. For a lot of these teachers, this is like years and years and years ago that they were doing anything related to science, but you're in it now. So you are the expert. You're there to provide the scientific know-how and background and to model this for students, to inspire them. So you help the teachers with the theoretical concepts and with the actual application of this stuff. But you know what the teachers are good at if they're not great scientists? They're good at classroom management and at teaching and getting the students to do things. So they do the classroom management, you do the science, and the parent together works really, really well. And it helps you as a student now to learn about classroom management. If you're interested in this kind of thing, if you're interested in being a teacher yourself or getting into scientific presentation in some capacity, you can learn a great deal from this. But again, the reason the teachers really want the students there is because it's fun and it's a positive role model. The elementary school teacher is just the teacher, but the young kids see these late teens, early 20s come in that are showing this science stuff off. It really is inspiring for them. You're a positive role model to them, and that's really the main point. So that's what you do in the class. What's needed from you? Well, the program itself is 30 to 45 hours in a semester. If you're with one teacher. Some students do two, but that's pretty rare. That involves 6 to 7 classroom visits per semester. Now, those classroom visits are about 2 hours. Sometimes they can be less time. Sometimes it's an hour. It's almost never more than 2. But you have to travel to and from the school as well. So you need an extra amount of time in there. So we suggest to students like you need a 3-hour block in your schedule for this. So that's 6-7 times a week where you need about a 3-hour block. So that's like 16 hours per week. Then you need some prep time. You can't go in there not knowing anything. You've got to prep this stuff well. You're going in to teach this, right? So you've got to be well prepared. There's time built in for that, give or take 8 hours. Plus, there's a training session that's going to take place in early September. That's 6 hours of time as well. You put all of that together, you get about 30 hours. I'm willing to sign off on a little bit more than that. I will go up to 45 for this as well, even though it won't be 45 hours of your time. So benefit from this, well, you get a great deal of terrific experience. You can put something great on your CV, and this is recognized by the STAR program. Now, STAR program at Vanier is more strict than it is at this kind of thing is at other colleges. At Vanier, it has to be 60 hours of volunteering in one semester. You're not going to get up to that. Like I said, I'm willing to sign off on 45, and I think that's even being generous. You're not getting close to 60. So if you're interested in STAR program recognition, you have to find at least 15 hours of volunteering elsewhere, right? So that's just how it is. But these hours are certainly recognized by STAR. So if you are interested in STAR and you've got other places you can fill up those hours, then I'm more than willing to sign off on this. And if you do it a bunch of times, then I say, yeah, fine, you did the 60 for the STAR. But one semester and even 2 semesters, it's really pushing it just for STAR, unfortunately. So you need to supplement for that. But you can get STAR recognition with these hours, at least in part. So now, to participate, I've mentioned all of these things already, but these are like non-negotiables. You need to be able to communicate in French. You're going to French schools, or even we're doing this a little bit in the West Island. None of our students from Vanier go to the West Island, to English schools. But even in English schools, guess what? In elementary school, they do science in French. So you have to be able to do this in French. You have to be able to communicate well, speak well, and interact well with these students in French. Okay, so that's a non-negotiable, point 1. Second thing, you have to have a 3-hour block in your schedule that's corresponds to time in elementary schools. If your 3-hour block is like from 2 to 5 p.m., that doesn't work. Elementary schools aren't working then. Ideally, it's in the morning. It can work in the early afternoon as well, but you need to have these 3-hour blocks. All right. The biggest issue that we have with students isn't necessarily finding students. It's certainly not finding schools that are willing to do this. We get a fair amount of students that are willing to participate as well, but the pairing becomes an issue. Okay, so you need to have a 3-hour block in your schedule. And you have to be able to attend the training session in early September. The Mayo that I sent that has this video attached to it has the dates for that and the times and the locations. It's all in there, but you can ask me more about that if you'd like by sending me a Mayo. You have to be able to attend one of these. That's a non-negotiable. If you don't attend, you can't participate in this program. Okay, so that's like a 6-hour block that you need on that day, that weekend day in early September. If you can't do that, you can't participate, unfortunately. If you register for that training session, the link to register will be in the Mayo that had this video in it. And there's more information in that link as well. But if you register for that training session, they will send you information about exactly what you need to do to prepare, when it is, where it is, how it is. You'll get information about that, but they're usually quite late. They tend to send it like on the Friday, when you might have a training session on the Saturday. Okay, so don't panic. You will get the information. It just might come really late for this. All right. Here's a quick example of what a semester, actually not a semester, this is a whole year, could look like for this. So the formation part, so you see like we've got the weeks. This was from 2019, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You've got the weeks there in the fall and the winter semester. We do this by blocks of semesters. You could do it only in the fall or only in the winter, but the ideal thing is to sign up for the whole year because it makes things much better for the students, because we're doing semesters, but they're doing a whole year, right? It's nice to have the same person with them for the entire year. Makes things a lot easier for us in terms of scheduling, in terms of planning, for the teachers, for everybody. We really do request that if you're signing up for this, you're looking at this as a year-long commitment. If things just don't work out, the scheduling doesn't work out in the winter, we understand. But please don't come into this thinking it'll just be a fall thing. Okay? Come into this expecting it will be a year-long thing. And honestly, everybody who does this loves it. They want to continue. They really, really do. So that's never an issue. All right, so see, formation, that's not you. That's the teacher doing particular startup activities for this. You're there for the activité prévue. And you see the scheduling for this particular fourth grade activity has 6 class visits in the fall and 7 class visits in the winter. Now, there's a lot of flexibility in this. It doesn't have to be on those dates. The teachers are usually very understanding of your particular scheduling. You have a particular unit test, midterm, a project, whatever that's due at this time, and you can't go that week. They work around your schedule. They know that you have constraints, and this is all very, very flexible. Okay, so it works well with you, but you should do those 6 or those 7 in that order during the semester. And there's a lot of flexibility. It works well. There's never really any issues with that. And you communicate directly with the teacher for this. It's almost never, ever a problem. The teachers and the students tend to get along really well. And they make these pairing partnerships that work really nicely. They understand your constraints. You understand what you need to do, and you work together to figure it out. It almost never has any issues. Okay, so there we go. The last thing is the training that happens in early September. There's an interview, and they're going to tell you what you need to prepare for that interview. And then there's training. They go through the stuffs there on the screen. Things that you need to be able to do, how you should be doing it, training to help you prepare for all of this. You have to attend this training session. And if you don't, you're not going to be able to participate. They will tell you all this once you register, but you need to bring your schedule so they can help with the pairing. You need to bring a lunch because there's not a lot of money with this. You can't pay for your lunch. You got to bring your own. And you'll need a book and some pencils because they ask you to write some stuff. So that's it. That's the Pour un Montréal Scientifique project. Oops, let's go over here. Oh, it actually finishes this one little thing. This was a drawing of somebody who participated in this project and is actually now, right at the very beginning, and is now coordinating the whole thing. This is something that a student drew of her, and it shows how inspiring this was to this student. The scientist wasn't this stuffy nerd anymore. It was this cool girl who was there actually really inspiring her. And she gave this paper to this student at the time, now coordinator, and it completely blew her mind. She was amazed at how she was inspiring these students, so much so that, like I said, she's the coordinator of this program now. So it does really work well. It's great for our students, the CEGEP students. It's great for the students in the class. And it's a lot of fun. Students who do this from Vanier, who participate, always get back to me saying how much they enjoyed it, how much they really learned from it and grew from this. So I hope that was inspiring to you, enough that you're willing and interested to register for the training. If you have any other questions about this at all, don't hesitate to mail me. And there you go. That's it. Thanks for watching.